Hello students, Biosavers are here with another video lecture in the ecology series that is about functional aspect of the ecosystem. In the last lecture, we saw that how energy flows in an ecosystem. Today, we are going to learn that how energy flows or energy transfers from one trophic level to another trophic level in an ecosystem. So let's get started. So the very first channel through which energy is transferring is food chain. So the word what is food chain? The word chain itself means that connecting link. So food chain is the sequence of eaten and being eaten produces transfer of food energy and that is known as food chain. So basically, how a food chain looks like, a food chain starts from the plant, means the food chain starts from the green plants which occupy the first level in any food chain and they are called as primary producers. Then the stored energy in plants is utilized by the plant eaters which are known as herbivorous. These herbivorous are commonly called as primary consumers. These herbivores are subsequently eaten up by the flesh-eating animal which are carnivorous and these carnivorous are also called as secondary consumers. These carnivorous can be primary carnivorous, secondary carnivorous and tertiary carnivorous. But basically there are three components in a food chain: producers, primary consumer and secondary consumer. There can be more than three, that depends on the number of carnivores present in a given ecosystem. So now let's know that let's study with an example of food industry, that in a hotel industry or a food industry from where the food comes. So first a farmer produces the food, farmer produces the vegetable basically. So here farmers are the plants which are primary producers. Then this farmer sold their products, that is vegetables or either fruits, to the vegetable vendors. So the vegetable vendors are the herbivores and the hotel industry or the food industry is buying the food or fruits from the vegetable vendors. So here the management or the industry is carnivorous. Now it depends on the industry that how much broad or vast it is. The level of carnivorous like level of secondary consumer will depend. For example, if the company is as broad as Domino's, now Domino's is an international company. That company have franchises in various countries. So that depends on the company, that how much broad and vast it is. The franchisees will be depend on that. तो जितनी फ्रेंचाइजीज होगी उतने लेवल्स होंगे सेकेंडरी कंज्यूमर्स के. अब सपोज कि फॉरेस्ट इकोसिस्टम है तो फॉरेस्ट में ऑब्वियसली ऑर्गेनिजम्स ज्यादा है तो कार्निवोरस लेवल टर्शरी कार्निवोरस तक होगा, प्राइमरी सेकेंडरी एंड देन टर्शरी. बट एक छोटा सा सूखा सा पॉन्ड है जहाँ पे ऑर्गेनिजम्स कम है तो वहां पे सिर्फ कार्निवोरस फर्स्ट ट्रॉपिक लेवल तक ही होगा. So it depends on the ecosystem that in which how many organisms are present in that ecosystem. The trophic level depends on that. So we can conclude that food chain there occurs repeated eating, means some organisms are being eaten and some are eating. So there occurs continuously eating. It is straight and unidirectional. अब ऐसा तो नहीं होगा ना कि डोमिनोज अपने वेजिटेबल वेंडर्स को सेल कर रहे हैं. ऐसा तो नहीं होगा कि वो खा के जो बच गया वेजिटेबल्स वो वेजिटेबल वेंडर्स को सेल कर दे. So it does not happen. Likewise in food chain, it always runs in a unidirectional way and it never goes bidirectionally. It have 4 to 5 trophic levels and generally 80 to 90% of energy is lost according to the second law of thermodynamics. So this was the schematic representation of how a food chain looks like. Now let's take an example and see how actually a food chain runs. So from where, what is the ultimate source of energy? We saw that in the last lecture the sun is the ultimate source of energy, and for instance in a grassland ecosystem the autotrophs, Who are autotrophs? The organism producing their own food are autotrophs. Self-producing organism are autotrophs, and these are plants. In a grassland ecosystem, these are green plants like herbs, shrubs, and trees. They manufacture their own food by utilizing the radiant energy and converting this radiant energy into chemical energy by the process of photosynthesis. These autotrophs are further eaten up by the plant eaters, which are herbivorous, and which constitute the first level in the food chain. These are primary consumers. These primary consumers are subsequently eaten up by the secondary consumers, which are carnivorous, means they are primary carnivorous. These primary carnivorous are subsequently eaten up by the secondary carnivorous, and the secondary carnivorous are subsequently eaten up by the top carnivorous, which always remain as prey. They never become predator, and they are tertiary carnivorous. So we can observe that all the organisms are interlinked in a definite sequence. So food chain can also be defined as the sequential interlinking of organism involving transfer of food energy from producers to carnivores to consumers in a definite order with repeated eating and being eaten is called as a food chain. Now where this ultimate energy goes? This ultimate energy goes to the decomposer level, where this decomposition occurs of the material takes place and they turn into decay materials, decay products. Decay products are being excreted, and through the excretion process they again goes into the autotrophs as a in the form of raw material in the soil, and energy transfer takes place from one trophic level to another trophic level in this way. This arrow basically shows the energy flow in an ecosystem. So in this way a food chain runs in an ecosystem. Now we know that autotrophs occupy the producer level, herbivores occupy the primary consumer level, and this carnivorous occupy the secondary consumer level. Now many of the students are getting confused that herbivores are not consumers. So if you are getting confused, we can remember it as the one who do swiggy, जो स्विगी करता है that is consumer, and जो अपना खाना खुद घर पे बनाता है that is autotrophs. So autotrophs are सेल्फ प्रोड्यूसिंग, ये अपना खाना घर पे खुद बना रहे हैं, सो दे आर प्रोड्यूसर्स. लेकिन हर्बीवोरस खाना स्विगी कर रहे हैं, सो दे आर नॉट प्रोड्यूसर, दे आर कंज्यूमर्स. ये स्विगी पहले कर रहे हैं इसीलिए ये प्राइमरी कंज्यूमर्स, एंड ये स्विगी बाद में कर रहे हैं इसीलिए ये सेकेंडरी कंज्यूमर. सो जो स्विगी करता है वो क्या हो गया, कंज्यूमर हो गया, और जो खुद का खाना घर पे खुद बनाता है, द संस्कारी चाइल्ड इज ऑटोट्रॉप्स. Understood? So now let's see the examples, types of food chain. Depending upon the type of organism, there are basically two types of food chain. First is grazing food chain. So the word grazing means to eat grass. So this food chain starts from grasses. This food chain starts from grasses. In grazing food chain, what happens? It mainly undergo in the grassland ecosystem where the grasses are present. So grasses constitute the first step in this chain. Then the plant biomass is eaten up by the herbivores. For example, insects, rats, mice, some of the cattle, which are subsequently consumed by a variety of carnivores. So the grazing food chain are directly dependent on the solar radiation. Green plant with the help of solar radiation manufacture their food by the process of photosynthesis, and these are longer food chain and they always end up in the decomposer level. So what is the fate of the energy flow in the grazing food chain? So the gross production may may be oxidized during the respiration, it may die and decay, and it may be eaten and stored as carbohydrate, protein, and fats and transformed into simpler substances. So this was about grazing food chain. Now what is the second type of food chain? The second type of food chain is called as detritus food chain. The word detritus means dead organic matter. So dead organic matter can be in the form of fallen leaves or animal bodies. Hence, this eco food chain is not directly dependent on the solar energy. Here, the starting point is the detritus matter, which means dead organic matter, which is eaten up by the detrivorous, means organism eating dead food or dead organic matter, and the detrivorous are further eaten up by the predators. So the main function of detrivorous is to release the inorganic elements into the ecosystem by decomposing the dead organic matter. We have seen in the first lecture that detrivorous or decomposers, though they are microorganisms, but they are very important for an ecosystem because they balance the ecosystem by removing the dead material from the ecosystem and by cleaning the earth's matter. So though they are very microorganisms, they are important for an ecosystem. So now let's see the examples of grazing food chain. Grazing food chain, we saw that it all runs in terrestrial ecosystem also and aquatic ecosystem also. So in terrestrial ecosystem, grasses or small plants are the producers. Caterpillar rely on the plants, so they occupy the primary consumer, means caterpillar are the first one to do swiggy from the grasses. Then the caterpillar is subsequently eaten up by the lizard, which occupy the secondary consumer level. Lizard is subsequently eaten up by the snake, and snake occupy the tertiary consumer level. Similarly, in aquatic ecosystem, phytoplanktons are the producers. Zooplanktons are eating the phytoplanktons. Smaller fish are eating the zooplanktons, and subsequently, larger fish like pelican is relying on the smaller fish. So, phytoplanktons and plants are the autotrophic level, and all these organisms are heterotrophs. So, autotrophs are the sanskari bachchas which make their own food, and heterotrophs are the swiggy guys. Understood? So let's see the example of detritus food chain. Detritus means dead matter. So it starts from the dead organic matter like leaves or animals body, which is eaten up by the detrivorous animals like wood loss, and this is subsequently eaten up by the predator like black bird. So this was about food chain. Now there is another way of energy flow in the ecosystem, that is through web. So what is food web? The word web means network. So food web means in a given ecosystem, when various food chains are linked together and intersect each other to form a complex network, this complex network is called food web. So in nature, food chains do not operate in isolation. These in fact are interconnected, forming a sort of interlocking pattern. This pattern, which is formed through the interlocking, is called as food web. And unlike food chain, food webs are never straight because parallel lines never intersect each other. So if they are intersecting each other, they can never be straight. Now you must be thinking that if the energy flow was already be done through the food chain and the ecosystem was running properly, what was the need of food web? So let's see how food web helps in maintaining the ecosystem. Firstly, food web provides the alternative pathway of the food availability. For example, if a particular species of producer is destroyed by a disease in the ecosystem, the herbivore of that area can feed on other species of producers. Similarly, secondary consumer For example, predatory birds may feed on rats or mice in the event of decrease in population. Let's understand this point with an example. So in this grassland ecosystem, for this is a food chain which is running in a straight direction and unidirectional way, and it is not intersecting any other food chain. But here many food chains are interlinking with each other and they are forming a web. So for example, in this ecosystem, due to any disease, the population of rabbit get decreased suddenly. So the hawk which was surviving on the rabbit is finding difficult to find the food, is finding difficult to survive. So अगर एक ही फूड चेन होती तो ये हॉक भी मर जाता सब्सिक्वेंटली अगर उसे खाना नहीं मिलता, अगर ये फूड वेब का कंसेप्ट नहीं आया होता. बट ऐसा नहीं हुआ. फूड वेब का कंसेप्ट इसीलिए आया कि अगर कोई इकोसिस्टम में कोई भी स्पीशीज की पॉपुलेशन सडनली कम हो जाती है तो दैट or the organism which was depending on that organism cannot die and the food web ecosystem स्टॉप ना हो जाए तो उसका अल्टरनेटिव पाथवे फूड वेब बताता है. तो अगर रैबिट की पॉपुलेशन कम हो जाती है तो हॉक कैन सर्वाइव ऑन लिजार्ड ऑल्सो, हॉक कैन सर्वाइव ऑन स्नेक ऑल्सो एंड हॉक कैन सर्वाइव ऑन ग्रास हॉपर ऑल्सो. सो इन दिस वे फूड वेब स्टेबिलिटी प्रोवाइड करता है एंड अल्टरनेटिव पाथवे प्रोवाइड करता है. In food web, greater are the alternative pathway, more stable is the ecosystem. जितने पाथवे ज्यादा होंगे उतना इकोसिस्टम स्टेबल होगा. एंड फूड वेब ऑल्सो हेल्प्स इन चेकिंग द ओवर पॉपुलेशन. अगर कोई ऑर्गेनिज्म की पॉपुलेशन सडनली बढ़ गई है तो वो भी हम फूड वेब से डिस्क्राइब कर सकते हैं. फूड वेब ऑल्सो हेल्प इन द इकोसिस्टम डेवलपमेंट. सो फूड वेब का मेन क्या है फंक्शन कि वो इकोसिस्टम को स्टेबिलिटी प्रोवाइड करता है. सो अ फूड वेब इलस्ट्रेट ऑल द पॉसिबल ट्रांसफर्स ऑफ एनर्जी एंड न्यूट्रिएंट अमॉन्ग द ऑर्गेनिज्म इन एन इकोसिस्टम, whereas a food chain traces only one pathway of the food. So you get that what is the importance of food web and why the concept of food web came into existence, even though the energy flowing and nutrient matter was transferring from one trophic level to another trophic level through food chain थी but फिर भी food web का concept इसीलिए आया कि stability provide हो सके ecosystem को और अल्टरनेटिव पाथवे ऑर्गेनिजम्स को मिल सके. सो थैंक यू फॉर टुडे एंड इफ यू have any doubt you can mention in the comment section. I would really like to solve it, and in the next lecture we will see that another channel through which energy is flowing in an ecosystem. So we'll learn about that in detail. Thank you.